Hello Flosstube friends! I am Lisa and this is my channel Cross by Floss, where I talk about cross stitching and life blabbings and all the fun stuff. Today is Sunday, I don't know, November 15th maybe, and I have decided this is a Stitch With Me video, so and I've decided that I'm just going to do new starts on Stitch With Me Sundays because why the heck not? And I have a lot of them. So from now until the end of the year, I'm going to do a new start every other Sunday on Stitch With Me's, and then during the rest of the time try and work on patterns that I've already got in my whips. And so then that gives me 2 new starts a month, right? Maybe even some months 3 new starts a month. Yeah, I can handle that. That sounds like a good idea. I might do that into the new year too. Stitch With Me Sundays, new start Sundays. That sounds good. Anyways, the one that I'm going to do is called the Little House Needleworks, and it's the Millicent Turner sampler or Millicent Turner sampler. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I think it's Millicent. You know, like the naughty, lovely from Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Millicent. Don't they call her Millicent? I think they do. I should know. I love all the evil queens. Anywho, when I first saw this pattern on 123 Stitch, I was like, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. I must have, because I love the Little House Needleworks. And I didn't realize that they had done samplers. And so I was like, oh, I must have this. Well, as luck would have it, of course, it was out of stock. Of course it was. So I put myself on the email list and said when it comes back in stock, and I was not hoping in any way, shape, or form that it was going to happen. But I was like, if it comes back in stock, yes, please, email me and then I'll buy it. Well, of course, no chart can come alone, or floss can come alone, or even fabric can come alone. So I made a very large order and this was in it. So it's beautiful. The colors that are called for, she charted it in, let's see here. She charted it in Classic Colorworks. But I had a look at the pattern and what I did was, so it's Classic Colorworks colors. And as you can see, like the Classic Colorworks for Weeping Willow, there's not really a DMC that is like a good substitute for Weeping Willow. And so then she chose 2 DMCs so that you can, put one strand of each color together to hopefully get the variegation. But I was like, I'm not playing that. So I bought the Classic Colorworks that had 2, that the DMC would have called for 2 separate colors to get the variegation. So, these are the colors that, are these not pretty? Oh yeah, they're pretty. So these are the 2 colors, Roasted Chestnut and the green, Weeping Willow. But the rest of them I'm doing in DMC, Odin. Okay, so we're gonna do a Stitch With Me. So I've got my coffee. It's a cup of happy today. Still, as you all know, I do a lot of flavored water, aka French vanilla, General Mills Hills, I don't even know what it is, powder drink, and no caffeine, because I can't do the caffeine. But I love the coffee flavor, so there's that. Odin. And Odin is with me today. You may or may not see him over that way. That's his bed right there. And he is pouting a little because I yelled at him earlier for licking and ruining the first 20 minutes of my intro. So anyways, grab your craft that you're working on and let's just have some chit chat time and yeah, let's get on it. So, okay, so today is Seahawk Sunday. You guys all know my love of everything football. And yesterday was a great day. I watched a lot of college football. I did some organizing in my craft room. I did some stitching. So that was really nice and fun, and completely a really nice, relaxing Saturday. Um, you know that right now I just have myself and my oldest son who lives with me, and he is super quiet. So other than, dog responsibilities on my part, and having to eat, it, I pretty much just relaxed and chilled out and hardly did anything at all yesterday. Though I did do some organizing in my craft room. And so that was fun. And getting closer, you guys. And actually, we're sitting in my new seating area of my craft room. And so what you see, I'm sitting on, this is a red little settee, 2-seated settee that I purchased from Wayfair. And funny story about this. So, you have to put your furniture together. So it came with the seat and the back separate, and then the legs you have to put on. And then it's got the armrests, and they were inside the bottom of the couch. And so then you had to put those together as well. So I am rocking it, you guys. I am putting this thing together by myself. I am doing so well. Get to the last arm. No joke. Get to the very last piece. I get all the other screws in. Everything's going good. The last screw will not stay in. And I'm like, what in the world is the problem? And long story short, there was a defect in the hole. And the little piece that the screw goes into to make it secure, whatever the Loctite thingy is, it was loose. And so it just kept turning and turning and turning in the wood. And eventually it turned itself so much that it got loose and then fell inside the arm of the chair, which is all upholstered. So, you can't get it out. And so I was like, oh, for goodness sakes. So I emailed the company and said, and took pictures so that they could see it. And I was so upset because, I was so proud. I put this thing together, and while it's not the right red for my my rug that's in here, it's fine. It's, it is fine. It's a cute little settee. It's comfortable, and it will serve its purpose for the time being. And, so I emailed the company and send my pictures and say blah, blah, blah. They sent me a whole new couch. Not just the arm for the couch, the replacement piece, a whole new couch. So outside my craft room, in the laundry room, I have a huge box that this came in, and I have another one, and I'm like, what do I do with this one? Because they don't want it back. And I'm like, can I send it back to you? Like, what do I need to do? Nope, sent me a whole new couch. So now I'm like, all right, do I sell it on, one of our local selling groups, and just say, like, it's defective? There's nothing wrong with it. Honestly, I'm sitting on it right now. And as long as you don't lean up against that arm, it's secure in a couple of other places. It's just not secure to the actual side of the couch, but you'd never guess. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Anyways, I just, for the amount of money that I paid for it, I didn't want to, like, lean up against it or have Odin do something, and then it was broken. So, but maybe if somebody else wants it as a purely decorative piece, or will only sit in the area that I'm sitting in and don't have kids or anything else to worry about, maybe it's a good deal. I don't know. Anyway, I will work on that this week. But speaking of Mr. Odin, so he is beside me. And like I said, he's pouting because he was naughty. And so he's over here. Even though he's here, he's mad because he's not beside me. Because why? Because Mr. Drool Pants left a string of dog glitter on my new couch. And it's a red fabric. It's and unfortunately also what I didn't realize, but I mean, this, you get what you pay for, right? And when I went to go and clean up said dog glitter, the red comes off the couch as well. So now I'm like, oh man, is it going to come off on my pants, or is it going to leave, you know? So just going to have to be a little more careful than I thought. But I guess that's going to happen with any dark colors, right? So, yep. So we're one step closer though, you guys. So you are seeing a portion of my craft room, and I have the rug in now. I've got the couch in. Across from me, that way, that is the DMC drawers. So all my, basically a full, almost, it's not quite complete, but almost a full DMC set is in those drawers. And the bottom drawer holds like extra supplies to create the bags that I store my DMCs, my extras DMCs in. And so that was exciting. I got that done over the weekend. And then the drawers, this is a chest of drawers that I bought when I first started collecting antiques, and would go antiquing with, I mean, I've been antiquing all my life, like, well, since I was 10, when my mom and dad purchased a house in downtown Edmonton. And, you know, it was built in I think it was 1901 or 1902. And in order to restore the house, they restored it back to its Victorian roots. And so we went antiquing a lot, and I learned a lot about antiques through the antique dealers that befriended my brother and I, because they knew our parents. They saw us all the time. They knew who we were. We went to antique sales, auction sales. And I remember, I mean, my mom and dad would always have us in kind of more in the back row so that we could lay out on a couple of chairs, because the auctions were always late at night or later at night in some cases. And so we would sleep there or do our homework or whatever. And back in the day. But I just learned a lot. I learned a lot about antiques from the antique dealers and even buyers who knew us. And so yeah, so when I first started buying antiques, of course I didn't have a lot of money. And it was when my ex-husband and I had just gotten together, and I was pregnant fairly soon with our first child. And, you know, there just wasn't a lot of money. And, and there was this, did they do it once a year or twice a year? Maybe once, I think it was once a year. There would be this big antique sale that happened, or antique show that would happen at the fairgrounds. And I mean, it grew so much from the first year that we first started going. They would have one small pavilion with one, you know, big room inside the pavilion. They would have that, and then they'd have outside, they would have a couple of food booths Well, by the time that I had moved to the States and stopped going to those antique sales, so I was in my, I guess I was almost 26 when we moved here. So I had been going to those antique sales since I was 10. So for 16 years, in that 16-year span, that antique show grew to 2 pavilions and used every single room in the pavilion. It was massive. It got massive, and antique dealers from all over all over Canada would come, even some from the States, and they would bring their big trailers full of their antiques, and it was a big show. And we of course had our favorite dealers, and they knew, us, and I found this chest of drawers and I wanted it so bad, and it was so much money. It was a little too much money for me. And the dealer knew us, and he knocked down the price so that I could buy it because he knew how much I wanted it. And so I think I was 20 or 21 when I purchased that piece. And it's been with me ever since. And it's had a lot of lives, but I love it. And my grandma has the dressing table that goes with this. And of course she lives in Canada, and she lived in a different province, and she always said, that it was mine. Like, I have great memories of us at this dressing table, and she would brush my hair and I would brush her hair, and she taught me all about Pond's cold cream, and she always had these beautiful bottles and concoctions on this thing, and it was just, and it had the cutest little little stool that you sat on, and it's just beautiful. And so when my grandma died, I was living in the States at the time, and it's very cost prohibitive to have things shipped over here. And so my mom took it knowing how much I want it. And there's been a lot of discussion on how to get it down here, and so that I can finally have the 2 pieces together. But now, of course, the dressing table will not be used in the same fashion with this dresser, because now the dresser, this is a long story to get to what's in the dresser. That is all fabric. That is all fabric. And in the top drawer is all the non-Aida fabrics, like the Monacos and some Hardanger. There's some even weave in there, even though it is not my favorite, but, and it's not a full drawer. Oh, that's not true. It is a full drawer because I have a lot of Monaco, and thinking that I would start doing some samplers on 28 count. And so they're in there, they come in those tubes. And so they are in there. But then the second drawer is 14 count Aida. And then the last drawer, which is a big drawer, it's a deep drawer, deeper than the first 2. It holds the 16 and the 18 count Aidas. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I have a lot of 16 count Aida. I mean, I have a lot. Like, I would say that more than half of the bottom drawer is just 16 count Aida. So if I would kit up my projects and use the fabric, it probably wouldn't be so bad. But I have not kitted up all my projects yet. Plus, I don't really want to. Like, I want to kit up some of my projects, but I don't want to kit up all of them because I might want that fabric for something else. There's new patterns all the time. Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of new patterns, did you guys see that Plum Street Samplers released 6 new patterns? She's killing me. killing me. And I'm still looking for the sloth one and snort stack. The sloth stack and snort stack. I don't think that that's what the sloth one's called, but in snort stack. So still searching for those. I found, where did I find snort stack? But something else that I wanted was out of stock. And so, you know, no chart can come alone, and hopefully I will be able to find snort stack somewhere. But I have a love of all things piggies. Piggies. They're so cute. All right, let me just tie this off and then get another one started. Yep, so anyways, she released 6 new patterns, and Paulette is killing me because each and every one of them is just gorgeous. She did a raccoon stack. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. So cute. Super cute. Oops, sorry, I probably shook you guys. So you guys, okay, Odin. I apologize for Odin. He's over here snoring, which is a lot better than licking. But you will probably hear him snore. He snores like an old man. It cracks me up. It cracks me up. In fact, the other day, he was snoring so much that I had to check and make sure that Mr. G wasn't home, that he had snuck in, because it sounded just like Mr. G. I have a dog who old man snores. Oh, goodness sakes. Cracks me up. But okay, so Odin is so spoiled, you guys. Oh, the dog is just so spoiled. So when we got them as puppies, you know, and because they're a mixed breed and tall, big dogs, there was some discussion on making sure that they got the right kind of food for the amount of calcium they needed for their bones to grow properly, but not to overgrow them, or I don't know, something about the calcium. And so we put them on really good, fairly expensive dog food. And of course, I kind of joke that the dang dog, you know, eats better than we do sometimes. Especially when I pay another $80 for a bag of food, but which lasts him about a week and a half, but it's okay. We know that at least he's getting the nutrients he needs properly, and the bones, and not that he's going to live for 8 to 10 years. If he lives more than 10 years, it will be seriously a miracle. But you know, we want him to be comfortable, and I mean, like you do with any dog, obviously. I mean, we love we probably overlove our animals. And yeah, he is very spoiled. Anyways, because also he's a big dog, you know, they have elevated food bowls, and that's so that their head isn't lower than, I don't know, like, there's things of, you know, having twisted stomachs and all kinds of things. I'm learning all kinds of things with a big dog. We've always had little dogs, and so I've never like had to think about this kind of stuff other than, you know, to buy good quality food, but and get them to the vet and everything. But no, with this dog, dang, I've been learning an awful lot about big dogs and how they, you know, just differences between a big dog and a little dog. And so anyways, I bought him this elevated dog dish that actually is really cool. And he has this horrible habit when you put food in his dog dish. he will play with his dog dish. And so I bought him, actually my daughter bought it, and then I bought a second one so that we could switch them out. And it's one of those dog dishes that has like a pattern inside it, and it's basically to help your dog not wolf down their food. And so there's different sections, and you can get like all kinds of designs. They're really cool, and it looks like a little maze, and the food just settles inside there, and they eat it up. And so before the elevated dog dish, Odin constantly would take that little puzzle dish, and he would nuzzle it and move it around and almost knock all of his food out of it. He could eat the food in it. That wasn't the problem. He just played with it. And then he would push the dog dish right up to the edge of the wall, and then he would eat the food. Well, you know, the food leaves, he's not a clean eater. And so he would leave things, and then the color of the food would go onto the wall, plus the goob that happens when they eat, and all of that. Well, this new dog dish that I bought, it's 2 parts, it's contained, and so when they lap up their water, when they drink water, anything that spills goes into a reservoir underneath. It's really super cool. I don't remember what the name of this dog dish is, but if you're interested, I know I bought it on Amazon, and I'll look up the link if you're interested. But it has saved me, because it's now just 2 steel dishes that go in this thing, one for water, one for his food. And he doesn't play, he still tries to nuzzle his food up and around the edges, but the food can't go anywhere. And so eventually he eats it, and it's, not going on the floor, it's not going towards the counters or anything, or the cabinets or anything like that. So it's actually really cool. And so I've got, the food under control. Well, then the water. Prince Odin does not like his water after he's drank it. So, he's got 2 big stainless steel dishes in there. And it holds a good amount of water because, again, big dog drinks lots. And so after he drinks his water, well, his jowls are so glooby and everything that after he eats and then goes to drink his water, whatever food particles or whatever is stuck, backwash, right? Backwash. Well, Prince Odin doesn't like his own backwash after he has drank, and so he expects me, and it's hilarious. He will stand there and he'll look at me until I take the water dish and put fresh water in it for him. He refuses to drink the other water. Like, okay, on the one hand, I can't blame you, because who wants backwash water? Yeah, we've all been there, parents who have children who insist on taking your drink and then giving it back to you with their cheesy little smile. Like, no, you can have it now. Thank you. I will die in the Sahara Desert with no water. I'm not drinking that. Well, clearly neither will Odin. And I'm like, okay, but if you would, like, it's your own doing. It's your own doing. It's different when it's somebody else's doing, but it's your own doing, dude. Like, clean up after yourself. But no, I cater to him. And even in the summertime, so we have a bowl on the porch for him in the summer when it gets hot, and he likes to sit out on the porch and sun himself. And I will put a big bowl out there with ice and water, and the ice actually helps with the gooby a little bit, but it melts so stinking fast in the heat that unless he does it right away. Plus, it also helps with the drooling too, which I don't know why, but I'm sure that there's a reason. Sure, there's a reason. Oh, goodness. But yes, that's Mr. Odin. He is working on his barking too. He feels like he should bark. Okay, here's a funny thing. He'll bark at, a falling leaf off a tree, the 4-year-old outside on their training wheels, on their bike, and because they're a huge threat to the family, right? But I mean, Mr. G walked in the house the other day when he was home, and Odin didn't even stir until he got halfway down the hall, and then he was sleeping, and then he woke up out of his and did a little teeny tiny bark and then wagged his tail, and I'm like, wow, you are the best. You are the best guard dog ever. Not. But he is. I think I'll go a couple more. He's pretty funny. And then the UPS man, he hates the UPS man. Absolutely hates the UPS man. And I mean, the UPS man can be parked across the street and walking towards our house. And Odin is in my bedroom, which is down the hall from the front door. And somehow he knows, and he will run out of my room. Run out of my room and just stand at the top of the stairs with all of his hair up and everything, just barking at this poor man. I don't know what it is about the UPS man, but he did not like him. And then the FedEx man, he's trying to make friends with him, and he brings him dog biscuits and leaves it on the top of the box for Odin. Oh, goodness. It's not working. It's not working there either. Oh, I have to laugh. He's a funny dog. But he's keeping me company and follows me everywhere I go, and he's a sweetie. He is a sweetie. But I am working on the barking, and he has been learning that every time he barks, he has to go to his bed. And he's got 4 of them in this house. And so, I'll just point and he'll go slinking off. But then I get the look like, Patricia, I was just protecting the house. And I'm like, yeah, but Odin, you're not supposed to bark. And he's like, but I'm doing my job. And the look I get from this darn dog, all like he sulks. It's like he's sulking. And then I'm starting to think, is he thinking that I'm saying bad when I say go to your bed, and point to it? And I'm like, oh, Odin, you're killing me. He's killing me. But so yes, trying to break him of the barking. And, he did not, for the most part, this room here actually has also had a lot of transformations in the time that I've owned this house. It was the nursery when my youngest son was born, because this was the house he was born at too. My older kids, they were born in Canada, but the youngest, he was born here. And so this was the nursery. And then we moved him upstairs when we took over the master bedroom again. And this became the 2 older boys' room. And so they shared this room for a very long time until my second son moved out. And when he moved out, my oldest son moved upstairs, and my daughter got this room with her daughter. And so, and then what happened? This is not what happened. Goodness sakes. Maybe I could get my story straight. When my ex-husband left, my second son took over. We have another room in the garage that we'd had built because my ex-husband used to work from home, and that was his office. And so when he left and took, his office, it was a spare room. And so my second son decided, you know, they were adults at this time. He decided he wanted his own room, and so he took that room over. And then yeah, so that's when we moved my daughter down here. Yes. So then when my second son moved out from that office room, and my daughter went out there, yeah, that's what happened. Goodness sakes. My daughter, you went to that room, and my granddaughter went upstairs, and my youngest son came down here with his dog. So it was his room to start out with, and it ended up being his room until he moved out, moved to Oregon. And then I've turned it into my craft room. So anyways, long story short, Odin has always been in this room. Not always, but for the most part, most of his, most of the life that he's lived, he has lived in this room. And he's been very spoiled and lived on the bed, which was a memory foam bed. Like, seriously, the dog couldn't have had a cushier life. But he didn't really roam the house. He stayed in here because my son did online schooling. And, you know, so for the most part, Odin wasn't out a whole lot. And so if people came to the door, he either didn't know or he wasn't like on guard or anything, because he always had my son. My son was always with him. And he just always stayed in here and only came out, you know, when Mitch came out. And so now when he is with me, I'm all over the house, and, you know, I'm working or in the kitchen or in my bedroom or, you know, doing laundry. So I'm all over the place. And so he is constantly with me and walking around me, trying to kill me down the stairs. I call it dog surfing, because as soon as I start going down the stairs, he thinks, oh, I should also go down the stairs, but I'm going to protect you while you're going down the stairs and be as close to you as absolutely possible. And then he's like practically underneath my leg, and I'm practically dog surfing down the stairs. It's horrible. It's horrible. I swear he is trying to kill me. And so anyways, that's the reason why he is barking now, is because before, you know, he didn't really even know that people were coming to the door, because he didn't have a visual of them. And even if he did start to growl or anything, you know, my son was always here telling him no, and everything was fine or whatever. So for the most part, he did not bark a whole lot. And but now he is, and now I'm having to train him not to, and it's so weird. But yep. Okay, so I have another car saga story. So, you know how I told you guys the last couple videos, my car saga. First one was the flat tire, and then the second one was when I locked the keys in the car. Okay, well, my next one is all about pop or soda. So I love me some Chick-fil-A. I am a Chick-fil-A girl. I love Chick-fil-A. I have dreams about that silly frosted lemonade and their fries with Chick-fil-A sauce as a dip. It's the best thing ever. Like, I mean, honestly, it's the best thing ever. I mean, it's so good that Kanye wrote a song about Chick-fil-A, okay? Or added it into one of his lyrics about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's delicious. And we were really excited when Chick-fil-A came to Washington, because we didn't have them before. And they came in some strategic places. And lucky for me, I well, the first one came out, I think it was to Puyallup. Was it Puyallup? No, maybe. I don't remember. But anyways, it was the best stop on the way to Mr. G's house back when he had the house in Puyallup. It was the best stop along the way because it was the easiest one to get into on the way. And so I always got my Chick-fil-A fix. And then they did one down in South Center, and then they opened up another one in Covington, and both of which are fairly close to me. And then there's one in Bellevue. I think the Bellevue one might have been the first one. I don't remember which one came to Washington first, but we have some Chick-fil-A's here now, and now Sonic has also opened up here, and we didn't have them here in Seattle. They were in Wenatchee, but they weren't in Seattle, and so they have now opened up some Sonics as well. But Sonics, I don't have as many dreams about eating and drinking their lovely drinks. No, it's Chick-fil-A. And so, whenever I go to Chick-fil-A, of course, I do the obligatory, call out to people who are at my house in a text message and say, hey, I'm on my way home. Is there anything you want? Blah, blah, blah. And this is when I was still helping my daughter paint for the 529 days it took for her to move into that house. It didn't, but it seemed like it some days. And so she was like, yeah, I'm on my way home. I'm right behind you. Can you get me, XXX? And I'm like, yep, sure. And everybody else was sleeping. It was just her and me. So I was like, yep, sure. So I get her drink, which was a large, do they have Coke products or Pepsi products? I don't remember. Anyways, it was a large something dark with no ice because we don't like our drinks watered down or cold. And so large, you guys, it's large. And I get my frosted lemonade and my Chick-fil-A sauce with my French fries because really it's sauce then fries. And and did you guys know that you could buy Chick-fil-A sauce? You can buy Chick-fil-A sauce. I am like, it is just wrong. It's just wrong. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna do for lunch today, because I bought me some Chick-fil-A sauce. It's like crack, you guys. Not that I've ever tried that, but I'm just saying it's food crack. But oh, goodness sakes. So, I get the drinks and everything. It's full. It is full when I pick it up, because we're doing social distancing. So they put the items on a tray and then shove it towards your car and you take them off. It was fine. Put it in my cup holder in my car. I've got my drink next to it. And then I call Mr. G on my way home. So I wasn't drinking anything. I didn't go into my drink holder. So I'm talking to Mr. G on the way home, and I'm eating my fries and dipping my sauce and happier than anything. Get home and I'm in the driveway and I'm still talking to Mr. G. So she comes out to get her food and her drink. So I go to pick up her drink. You guys, it's empty. It's light. It's super light. So I look at it and I'm like, and it's dark, right? It's dark outside. So I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, they didn't fill this up. And then I'm like, no, wait, it was full when I picked it up. I know it was because I heard it slosh around. And, the top when they overfill it and it just gets that little bead on the top. Well, that had hit my fingers. So I knew that there was something in it. So I'm like, well, where in the world did your drink go? And then, light bulb clues in and lights up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your drink must have had a leak. Well, at first I was like, did it tip over and it's all over my seat? And I'm like, no, it was upright when I was giving it to her. This is how distracted I was and stressed out. And so I'm like, no, So then the light bulb goes on and I'm like, oh my gosh, it must have had a leak. But how? And so then I'm like, well, my cup holder should be like running over because it's a large, you guys, a large. So I pull my drink out of the second cup holder and there's very little liquid in the bottom. I'm like, where in the world did it all go? So now I'm like looking on my seats and I'm looking everywhere. And then it dawns on me, you know, I betcha that it just leaks all the way down from the cup holder down to your floor. Now I'm panicking because that's where all the electrical is for the heated seats and the mechanism for the seat move, you know, the seats to move and all of that. And now I'm panicking because I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a large, no ice drink. And it had leaked all the way from my cup holder all the way down into the bottom of the passenger seat. So who's out there at like 9:30? I'm so tired. 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And now I am like trying to mop up and blot up the floor carpets in order to get up all of this drink. And then I'm like, okay, well, do I need to call the car dealership and find out, you know, is there something else that I should be doing and making sure that I protect the mechanical stuff or the electrical stuff for my seats? You guys, I'm telling you, my car is cursed. It's either my car or me. Maybe it's both of us. I don't know. Maybe it's because I picked a black car. I don't know. Anyways, I was able to get it all out of there, and then I have one of those little carpet cleaner, you know, hand unit thingies that put the steam and the hot water and cleaning and whatever, you know, like a Bissell upholstery cleaner or whatever. So I had that, and so I was able to clean it all up. But you guys, seriously. So then I'm like, okay, can I be mad at Chick-fil-A for having defective cups? And did they know? I'm like, and then I thought, well, maybe I pierced it myself, you know? Nope, you guys, it was the weirdest little, and how I didn't notice it on the tray, or they didn't notice it on the tray, but I guess all of us would have just assumed that, you know, the top had just spilled over a little, from being over full. So, story of my life, you guys. If it's not one thing, it's another. But I was not a happy camper that day, and I decided, because, you know, if oh, I hope I'm not the only one who does this, but you know, when you get mad about something and you're like, okay, that's it, they should have known. And and I wouldn't go to Chick-fil-A for a whole 2 weeks. That was rough. And I was like, okay, no, it wasn't their fault. It really wasn't their fault, just a defective cup. But what a pain. What a pain. But yes, I go to Chick-fil-A at least once a week. It is my guilty secret pleasure, and I have to stop myself from going daily because, like I said, there's two that are fairly close to me, and I am not opposed to standing in line, but I also don't want to weigh 500 pounds, so I have to cut it down to once a week and be really happy with that. And I do. I savor it. I have a standing order. It is just a Chick-fil-A. My order is this. Can I get a large fries with 4 Chick-fil-A sauces and a large frosted lemonade? And they're like, is that it? I'm like, yes. Sometimes I've gotten 2 large French fries, but I don't eat that much. So, and even 1 French fries is now starting to become a struggle for me because I'm trying to shrink that stomach. And yeah, and the most important part, well, A, is the Chick-fil-A sauce, but also the frosted lemonade. And if you guys have not tried that, mm-mm. And the funny thing is, I'm the only one in this family who likes them. I bought them for everyone, you know, because they're like, oh, that looks really good. Oh, Mr. G likes it too. But he just started drinking them before he would look at me, and he's like, you know, that's just full of sugar. And I'm like, I do. It's ice creamy goodness. Um, but he tried mine, and he was like, oh yeah, that is good. And I'm like, uh-huh. And it started with the mango one, that mango peach. Was it mango peach? Something like that they only have in the summertime. Yeah, that stuff's good. But nobody else in my family likes them. My granddaughter doesn't like them. My oldest son doesn't like them. My daughter doesn't like them. So, yeah, they're weirdos. Such weirdos. Oh, come on. In you go, little. Some of these holes. There we go. So I am doing this one on a 16 count Ada. What color did I decide to do it in? Lamb's wool. I like lamb's wool. It is a really nice neutral and will go with so much. And I have a couple of pieces of lamb's wool actually that I think I've kitted up for a couple other samplers. But what I really liked is, so Diane, is it Diane or Diana? I think it's Diane. Is it Diana? No, it's Diane. She had mentioned in the instructions on this pattern, sorry, allergies are kicking in. We had a lot of rain yesterday, and yeah. Anyway, Diane had said that, you know, when she stitched her piece, that she then did some aging technique to it, where she got a tea bag and wet it, and then just put it on, dabbed it on certain parts of the fabric to give it kind of that more aged, vintage, old look. And I think I'm gonna do that once I finish this piece, which, as you can tell, is gonna take me forever. Okay. I don't know why I'm struggling trying to find these holes. But I do. I really love I love this piece. And so how old was Millicent? I think she was 10 when she did this one. I think she was 10. Does it say how old she was? No. Or at least I don't see it. 1808 is when it was created. And the Proverbs, this is Proverbs, what is it, 31:27, and it's, she looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. And it just spoke to me when I saw this. And so I read everything when it came, and Diane's little instructions, and how she charted this and what she did. And so it's really interesting, and it's pretty. I love the colors. So there's that. Okay, I don't know how long I've gone, so okay, well, you guys all know it is Seahawk Sunday. I think I started out with that and then went down a rabbit trail, and But it is Seahawks Sunday, so, and our game is this afternoon at 1:25. So, and I believe are we playing the Bills today? I don't remember. But I need to get this started and uploaded so that I can watch the game, because that's super important. Cheer on my Seahawks, boys. Hopefully we have a much better game than last week, because whew, that was rough. That was rough. I tell ya, penalties are killing us. That and, you know, the O-line, which really, I think we just have a lot of injuries. So, and poor Russ is out there doing the best he can, but need a little bit better protection there for him. All those sacks are not good. So I will be couch coaching in about an hour, or probably when you see this, I will be fully entrenched in couch coaching. And questioning all the moves that Mr. Carroll makes. I love me some Pete. I love their optimism, but I'll tell you what, when he got up there at that press conference after that game last week and said, I didn't recognize us out there, I was like, yeah, none of us did. None of us recognized us. Oh, that was not a good game. Not a good game. Anyway. Okay, well, I hope that you all enjoyed and got some crafting done. And there we go. And are having a good Sunday. I say this all the time, with COVID numbers are drastically on the rise. And our governor is going to be doing a press conference on Tuesday with the expectation of Odin. Hey, buddy. Oh, you know you're not supposed to be on this. Go back to your bed. Hey, go back to your bed. Odin. See how well he listens to me. Odin, go to your bed. Go to your bed. Thank you. Good boy. Oh, don't give me that face. Good boy. Lay down. No. On your bed. Hey, no. On Odin. Bed. Bed. Okay, y'all see how well he listens to me, right? Still not laying down on his bed. Now I'm getting the look. Do you guys see the look? Do you see the look? There it is. Oh, goodness. Anyways, our governor is expected to announce on Tuesday that any gatherings outside of family are limited to 5, and that he also, and that's starting Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, bars and restaurants are shut down again for in-dining, and only outdoor or delivery service is going to be something for the next little while. So unfortunately, until we can get our numbers back under control, and I know in our state alone, we had well over 2,000 cases yesterday, which was Saturday, and just numbers are just going up all over the place. So please be safe. Please wear your mask. Please wear your mask over your nose and your mouth, and wash those hands. Use hand sanitizer. Don't touch anything. Just be cautious and safe. And we've noticed that the grocery stores and Costco, my daughter was at Costco yesterday, and paper products are out again. I guess the people the first time around that didn't get to hoard are now hoarding now. I don't know, but paper products are gone out of the stores again. And so after the game today, I'm going to attempt to go to the grocery store and hopefully be able to get some food, because, you know, why be prepared? I'm not a hoarder or preparer in that way. Just as long as we always have enough food for at least a week and a bit, I always feel that we're doing pretty good. But I guess now with this, and they're going to limit outings and that kind of thing again, that should probably do a little bit more preparedness. So, but yeah, so really, please stay safe. I hope that everybody comes out of this into the new year, you know. It's just been a difficult, hard time for so many, and you know, we've got to come out of this on the other side better and stronger and more prepared. So, all right, well, happy Sunday, and whatever, if you watch football, whatever team you're rooting for, go that team. And I hope that I see you in my next video next Sunday, where I do an update of all good things. All right, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.